What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Set. His name is Joe. Joe the Jojo. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Kiluminati. Kiluminati. We have a stock standard American versus English person. British person. Yes. So, I actually haven't seen Kiluminati play Loki before, but Kiluminati going in with his Loki for whichever reason. Kiluminati is actually a raw player as far as I'm aware, but deciding Loki is the way to go here and getting an interesting matchup. Loki versus Set. I quite like this matchup for Set. I think that Set's got a bit of an advantage in this matchup with the usage of shifting sands to either pick off a whole bunch of Hersa, with the advantage of having the hunt that you can be making in your main base from your Pharaoh to take away any sort of raids that your opponent might be wanting to put onto you, and the final advantage of Axeman and the like being very difficult to deal with, as we do see a lion getting converted over here. Hunt trying to be found here for Joe, but there's really just not that much hunt on the map here, as it seems, as we've got a very, very small amount of hunt. So you can have this type of spawn on competitive Mega Random. It's very similar. Oop. Kiluminati getting away with that. 1 HP remaining on that Ulfsark. So you can get low hunt spawns on a competitive Mega Random, where basically the minimum amount of food you can have is 1,000 food, and all of that food can spawn in your base, and that's what's happened in this game. If I take a look on the map, there is some rhino over here as well. So there is a decent amount of food here on the map with 500 food, got 1,500 plus 1,200, but it's still a relatively low hunt map here. And we'll see how it's going to all go here as Kiluminati searching around. You've got to be careful not to lose that Ulfsark though, as the lion's still searching around, trying to find his own hunt. He hasn't seen it just yet. The hyena will come over here and spot it eventually, but maybe spotting it too late might be a problem here, as Joe's going to want to put his temple down fairly soon. Joe's still kind of living in 2015 in a way with his Set builds. Having all of this hunt in your base with Ra and with Set and with Isis, you can get yourself to the heroic age, to the classical age at 430 at the very latest with 2 monuments. You can get yourself to the classical age at 4 minutes with 0 monuments, at 4 minutes 15 with 1 monument. All of this stuff is possible, and with only 1 villager building the temple as well. So Joe takes a hit to his economy every single time he does this build, every single time he plays the early game like this. And the thing is that Joe is such an insanely good player that it can't. That's a really weird thing that would not expect to see that. I would have thought that Aurak would 100% walk forward. Anyways, Joe takes a hit to his economy every time he does this, but he's going to continue doing it, and because he's such a good player, he kind of overcomes it, and he's kind of in this world where, because he has success with what he does, he doesn't try and change it. But whereas if he did change it, not only would he become an untouchable Egyptian player, but also he'd just be an untouchable Egyptian player if he has just that little bit more to play around with. But we'll see what he's going to go with in this early game. Villager's going to be moving forward here. He does see the enemy rhino over here, so maybe dropping. Is he going to drop? He's not dropping a town center. He doesn't have the gold, so he's going to be dropping a barracks in the middle of the map, being very, very aggressive here as Kiluminati is searching for hunt. Heimdall? Random temple in the corner of the map? No scouting? Skraeling does come over here. We'll spot the priest. Kiluminati going to be he's going to be happy to spot that, but see what's going to happen here as we do see that barracks being dropped, and Joe's going to be jumping onto this lumber camp over here. Has Joe spotted his rhino yet? No. Where are they? Just here. and the smallest amount of black you can possibly see here. So Joe coming forward, going to be making some action, putting some heavy pressure onto Kiluminati here, and Kiluminati opening up with one of the strangest Loki builds I've ever seen. So we'll see how he's going to go here. He's onto his pigs in his main base. Probably going to be thinking about watchtowers and trying to defend, but no buildings here to help defend. And Joe's just going to go straight for the jugular, going after this gold position over here as well. He's got himself his Pharaoh in his main army. This makes it even stronger. The Axemen are out. The Axemen are scary. The Rhino over here getting dealt with. We see a underworld, not an underworld, an undermine onto that tower, getting a whole bunch of damage done onto the houses as well to lower those. We'll see if Kiluminati is just going to be going for a bit of an attack here, as an armory getting dropped for Kiluminati, and those villagers are going to get pulled back here as now Joe has to send his axemen elsewhere. He's got 5 axemen in here. He's going to be sending them back home to try and deal with these Hersa that are going after the main base here. These houses are very, very low HP as well. We'll see the temple getting targeted down here first as a wall does get thrown down. Look at Joe's position. Joe's building positioning is always on point. He's always able to defend his gold in a really, really nice way. But we will be seeing this temple potentially falling here as Kiluminati is continuing his Hersa production. And the Einhjar coming in to help with this destruction, as Joe about to pop it in here with a handful of axemen and his lions and his gazelle and everything else to start taking this one down. Joe right now has got himself 200 gold in the bank, deciding he needs more food, saying, all right, going to just reposition that one. The Pharaoh going to immediately finish off that Einhjar. The Hersa retreating away, but a temple victory there for Kiluminati here as a Rhino coming back. We'll be seeing Joe potentially going to be eating said Rhino there. And Kiluminati has 46 population, Joe's 47 population. We do see a wall coming up on this position as Kiluminati's trying to catch those villagers out, but the villagers do manage to make their way out here, still trying to throw some ghost buildings down, but Kiluminati with just not enough resources there to get a proper surround there, and he has to leave this location. Not having access to Hall of Thanes is going to be a real big problem for Kiluminati as well, as he's starting to make himself some throwing axemen, some raiding cavalry. And Joe's trying to chase this down. I like the idea of just kind of bait the Egyptian army around with the Norse army, not really engaging at all. But he does have to be a little bit careful. So he is deciding to take this fight. We see a shifting sands coming in, pulling the units into the main base. The Hersa are going to be attempting to break out. There's not a villager over here to prevent these units from retreating, but still going to be a good amount of damage done. And Joe's going to be retreating back home, and that was one of those advantages which Set does have here in this game, is to pull those units away. So nice play there from Joe. Gets a little bit of an advantage. The villagers on this gold mine getting pushed back as Kiluminati trying to put some good pressure onto Joe. We will be seeing one of the Hersa getting taken down, 2 of the Hersa getting taken down. Kiluminati retreating back home here, as it would seem, as another axeman coming through to take down some of these Hersa. It's a lot of value for Joe's axeman. He gets a couple more hits down, 1 more hit down, I should say, but does fall there. Illuminati is continuing along in this classic collection of very, very small army, as now we're even seeing some slingers coming out to try and deal with the throwing axemen. I kind of love and hate that Joe is making one barracks work here, because whenever I do this, I always get outproduced by a crazy amount by the Norse players. But Joe's just been spamming from one barracks. He's got plenty of resources in the bank, throwing another temple down. Going to be eating his Rhino here in his main base that he's managed to convert over the time in this game. So hasn't found his own Rhino that is sitting right in this black spot. Okay, it does seem like with Kiluminati, kind of main base being found, no hunt to be eaten, he's deciding to tap out here. Not getting access to those rhinoceros, going through Heimdall, not really having an idea of Heimdall. Heimdall is kind of a threatening god, a threatening minor god for an Egyptian player, because the Egyptian players feel pretty safe against Forseti with the towers that are here. But if you go Heimdall, the tower gets undermined, you can push through and kill this. So the idea would have to be, you have to get as big of a force as you can to break this down and push off this gold mine. Otherwise, you kind of don't have the mobility anymore to make Loki work. The other thing is, because you don't have Hall of Thanes, your Hursa are significantly weaker in HP engine speed. So your opponent's going to be able to kill them off even easier than they normally can with those Axemen. So Kiluminati picking a bit of a strange strategy here, and Joe making short work of it. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.